What is your favorite childhood memory? Like us to read you more awesome Reddit topics? Just like and subscribe to our channel. When I was a child, I've only had one friend. He restored an old bike and gave it to me, because my mom couldn't afford to buy me one. He did this just to ride with me. I almost burst in tears when I remembered. He was a real friend. I remember getting to ride bikes with mates as a kid. The carefree attitude. And being told as I went out the door, come home when the street lights are on, 'cause that's when dinner was on the table. Whenever I got home, my parents put the food away already. They never have dinner with me. Finally, he's gone. We can have dinner in peace. Yeah, well, some parents are better than others. Are you two still in touch? My brother and I shared a room when we were younger. Mom would send us to bed at 10 or 11 and we would talk 4 hours on end. How our day was, jokes, but mainly wrestling. It would be 4 hours almost every night of the week. That's what's up, man. Brotherly love is priceless. Are you still close to your bro? Not as much so now. He's having some memory issues, so I cherish the old memories. Is it weird that I don't have any specific happy memories from my childhood? I mean, I'm sure I had them, but I can't recall them. Yeah, same. I was emotionally abused. I can remember very little. Me too. Trying to remember something right now. Everything I'm remembering is shrouded in fear, even the normal stuff. Maybe try hypnotherapy sometime. It uses hypnosis to open up memories without your waking consciousness interfering with the recollection. I might, but honestly, I'm scared of what it would bring up. My best friend's family doesn't have much money. My family has a lot. I remember us using my bikes or longboards and going on adventures. He always used my off-road bike, because he liked it the most. It became some kind of unspoken rule. We didn't go to his place before several years into our friendship. When I found out how long he had to walk to get to school, I gave him the off-road bike. At first he couldn't say yes, but I told him that it had always been his bike. The bike is now too small, but he still has it. I love this. You're the best. You're a good friend. 264837594861090747758. I'd give you an award, but our top comments friend? My brother was always kind of an asshole to me, but I do have one fine memory that always pops into my head. When I was in elementary school, we would take the public bus and he would walk with me to make sure I got there. On the last block before the school, there was this fence that had flowers on them and we would always pick them and drink the nectar. It wasn't much, but it was a small joy that we held together in our otherwise shitty lives. It's the one memory I hope I never forget. Oh, wow. I forgot honeysuckle was a thing. My grandmother had a big mess of this stuff in her yard and she showed me how to eat it. I miss her. Honeysuckles were very fun in my childhood. We used to eat them as well. I can smell them a football field away in the springtime. Mom's job didn't pay very well. Sometimes the check would be delayed, so every time payday came along it was a big deal. This one time she got paid and had to buy me clothes, so I skipped school and we went to town. After visiting the bank, it started raining, so we took shelter in this little hotel on the main street. She decided that we would have lunch there to wait for the rain to stop and then go clothes shopping. While waiting for food, she ordered us 2 glasses on Coca-Cola, and I swear it was the best tasting glass of Coke I have ever had. It was the first meal I had in a non-chain restaurant and has stayed with me forever. I eat at that little hotel anytime I am in that area. I think everyone kinda has their own Coke memory. Mine is on the beach on a very hot day, drinking a cold glass of Coke with ice. Glass cup over bottle in a day. Making money babysitting, buying a bottle of Coke and vanilla ice cream and making a Coke float and drinking the last of the Coke and melted ice cream. My great-grandfather used to make Coke floats for me all the time. Love him so much. How much did you get paid to post that? Mine is more with Dr. Pepper. My sister and I used to go to the Arizona desert for a week or so in the summer to stay with our grandparents. They had a solid covered patio and we would sit out and watch the thunderstorms and rain go through at sunset and drink a cold can of Dr. Pepper. It was always warm there even at night during these storms, and I can still remember the smell of a rainy desert. April 4th, 1984, the day my mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive father's overwhelming love affair with unfiltered pulmones finally got the best of him, and he died alone in a hospital bed. There is no greater freedom for a young boy than knowing his lifelong tormentor can no longer touch him. My father died from chain smoking. He used to sit in a chair with a cloud of smoke surrounding him. I used to stand behind him and play in the smoke. It was that heavy. I'm surprised I never got cancer. I like to say my father died of everything cancer. By the end, the doctors had removed one entire lung and a third of the other, part of his liver, his tongue, his larynx, his upper palate, and about half of his lower jaw. The chemo had reduced him to a veritable skeleton, to a point where 13-year-old me was stronger than him, strong enough to push him back and keep him at bay the last time he tried to beat me with his belt. At 7, managing to knock down a 1-meter icicle from the porch in my garden and telling my mom that I'm going to keep it in the freezer. Also my mom biting my cheeks when I was 2 and me laughing. You remember shit from when you were 2? Yeah, what the frick? I remember back when I was 2. It's spotty, but there are some good specific memories in there. Waking up at 5:30 on a Saturday morning, heading to Tim Hortons with my dad for Boston cream and an XL hot chocolate, and then to the ice rink for hockey practice. Miss those times and miss him dearly. It's such a Canadian cliche, but I did it for the first time this year when my nephew played hockey. All the parents in the stands with younger siblings, cheering on both teams. The kids were 7-9. It was so simple and so real. Flying to Bosnia to visit my grandparents and the family farm. We don't go often, and I loved it over there. Gels nas mazda jezik, ako jenet koad tvaji is Bosnia, Pali jaznam. My dad would took me out for corned beef sandwiches and push popsicles. I can still remember hanging out with my dad when I was like 4 or 5 in our garage, eating an orange push pop. Those things hold a special place in my heart. Not having responsibilities. Yes, no stress, etc. Now it's just work, stress, people, crap. Yes, my daily schedule. We were poor and didn't have much. I used to take empty Mr. Freeze tubes and fill them with orange juice and close them with a bobby pin and then hide them in the freezer behind the ice cube trays. I was always amazed one of my many siblings didn't poach my little treat. I never showed anybody my secret popsicle routine. This is so precious. I hope you have many popsicles now. Weekends lost in youthful adventure. I feel like that would be fitting in a Robert Frost poem. 50-cent hot chips with nacho cheese poured in from the corner store. Bless you. I think it was a moment in spring. I was a bit tired from all the mindless running around, and I decided to rest a bit inside an iron cylinder playground thing. And I was just there alone, lying inside and enjoying the moment with a cool breeze hitting my face. Sometimes I wonder why that memory is still so vivid. Sometimes I often think about how it's so hard to be in the moment like that for me nowadays as an adult. I used to go in places and really have vivid feelings of the vibes they gave me, like old schools, or like enjoying a rainy day under the porch. And I've realized lately that I never have those feelings anymore, and it makes me sad. $10 would fill up a gas tank, $20 would get a bag full of groceries, $30 would take me and 5 friends to a movie with popcorn and refreshments, $40 would buy a completed AAA title, $50 would equal a plane ticket across the country. 1990s kid, born in the 1980s, $20 still gets a bag full of groceries at Aldi. And for now, also a plane ticket across the country. Why are you putting the dollar sign after the numbers? Freaking me out. Sorry, I fixed it. Climbing in an old quarry with my school friends. Our school uniform would get absolutely disgustingly filthy, but we'd have the best time. We would walk home, about an hour and a half walk, having a laugh with some chips we'd bought from the fish and chip shop. Once I fell down the side of the quarry and rolled so far down it I'm amazed I didn't break anything. Having my mom read a book for me and that I could snuggle next to her, or with my older brother and mom movie night snacks. Playing games with my parents on the NES, SNES, PS1, figuring out stuff like Zelda, playing together Secret of Mana and everything that came around that time. My mother liked playing Lufia and Terranigma a lot. Last year, a few months before she died, she found her old SNES again and hooked it up and played some games on it. My favorite childhood memory is probably thinking nothing will ever change and stay awesome. My dad making me hot chocolate on Christmas break. He would wake me up early, carry me to the kitchen, set it on the kitchen counter, and then start making Mexican hot chocolate on the stove. And while he stirred it, he would sing Toma Chocolate, Pago Loque Deeps. On summer breaks I would stay with him. He was a construction worker and woke up at 4 a.m. to go to work. Don't really remember how it started, but I began to wake up with him and he would carry me into the kitchen. I would sleepily make him a PBJ for lunch. He would take me back to bed, kiss me on the forehead, then head off to work. On his lunch break he would call to let me know how yummy the PB&J was. I always waited right by the phone, because I didn't want to miss his call. This was probably back in 2004 to 2005. I was 6 or so. He got deported in 2009 and I'm still processing that. Dads are important, please for the love of God be a good father. This story brought tears to my eyes. So sorry he got deported. I hope you reunite soon. I am so sorry to hear this. I hope you get it sorted. Sending you good vibes, smiley face. I was 4 years old. The year is 2000. It was New Year's Eve. I didn't have a care in the world. All I saw was thousands upon thousands of beautiful colors in the sky that seemed to go on forever. That is truly my most cherished memory. I thought, wow, he was only 4 in 2000. He must be really young. FML. I'm getting old. Thank you, sir. You made me blow air out of my nose, smiley face. I remember my back and joints not hurting.